Focus. Focus can be the difference between on and off, winning and losing, good and great, between great and the best. Focusing can be the most self-fulfilling thing you could do for yourself, because with focus comes accomplishment. Focusing can bring out your greatest talents and give you true purpose in this world. It can take your natural ability and magnify it to extraordinary. One thing I learned, and I'm sure most of us know, is what you focus on, what you put your energy into, is exactly what we should expect back. That's just the law of the universe, karma. I've seen it happen like 10,000 times. It's as proven as 1 + 1 being 2. Focus is a key to being successful in any situation. If you focus on the wrong, you'll get the wrong things. There's no way to focus on one thing and expect something different. How you focus on something is giving your attention to it. Even if you don't like it and still focus on not liking it, you're still putting your attention to it and will still attract it. For example, if you focus on wanting a new car, you'll keep attracting the idea of wanting a new car. But see, it's easy to confuse that because wanting a new car isn't the way to manifest it. You're simply just wanting a new car, not obtaining a new car. Remember, the intent of your focus is so important. There's a difference between focusing on wanting the new car and focusing on the car being yours. We really should be clear on what we focus on. Honestly, I feel like time is the most valuable thing we've ever been given, and focus runs parallel to that. Because every second of the day, we're focused on something, whether you realize it or not. I, for sure, am a victim of focusing on the wrong thing sometimes. I spent a little too much time on my phone, looking at comments, focusing on the outfit a little too long, but that's just human. It's very rare that you'll probably focus 100% of your time on what you need to. But the biggest advantage is to quickly catch yourself and be able to reset your focus. For me, there's no way I could focus on something I don't love, at least not for long. I'm just not content with spending my life miserable, and I just personally can't live like that. If it's not a part of your vibration, you could tell how you feel, your inner guidance system, your feelings. If I feel good, I'm doing the right thing. If not, then it's not what I'm supposed to be doing. How does what you focus on make you feel? Remember, it's never too late or too early to know what makes you happy and to make that change by any means necessary. I went into my last album, Focus. I wanted to focus on making music that would change people's lives, help lift their moods up, music that I felt was undeniably great to me, and talk about what directly affected me. And that's what I did. I never focused so much on executing these things while making music. And what do you know? My first #1 album and my most successful one yet. You can't measure success in anything but happiness. I say that all the time. And if you focus your energy on what makes you happy, what do you think will happen? Exactly. It'll always work out. Rewire any thoughts you've had prior and know that you are what you focus on. Focus. Patience. Patience is the ability to accept trouble, suffering, delay, without getting angry or upset. I feel like if you can master patience, you can master anything. To sit and plan out your goals and dreams, strategize, understand how the universe works, how things manifest. The time it takes is part of your own learning process. It's hard to realize this when things aren't coming fast enough, whether it's a check, a job, a loan, a dream, a goal. It all takes patience. So happy, dog, no matter what. No matter what's going on.
Yeah.
To be in LA, to look out that window and see that view. Always remember, with the proper attention, from the highest place, the purest place, the highest vibration, you'll always get what you want. There's no point in rushing. If you rush too much, you might not get where you're going. Usually when you rushing, you stressing. It can affect the quality of any and everything you're doing. You might have 1,000 strikes before you hit a home run. To see the bottom means that the top is just as real and just as obtainable. I realize patience is key for happiness. It allows you to be happier, to always see the bigger picture in everything. I feel like wisdom is priceless, and patience is a major part of that. There are certain things you can control, some you can't. But when you approaching situations with patience, you bringing your best self to that situation, giving yourself the best chance at success at whatever's at hand. I learned there are lessons in patience. It could teach us a lot of things. I could give you 100 stories on how I wish I could have went back in time to talk to myself, tell me to calm down, relax, don't let this throw you off. When I graduated high school, I decided to focus on music. It was one of the hardest things to watch all my homies at school, especially the schools I could have went to. I feel like everyone around me was progressing and I was at a standstill. Man, I was doing a lot of reading. I realized you have to recognize your own process and it can't be measured by anything but happiness. Just remember your journey is the most important part of the story, not the trophy. The time I spent frustrated, depressed, afraid of what might happen or not happen was the worst things I ever went through, the worst feelings I ever felt. I didn't get anywhere thinking, feeling like that. It was when I came out of that way of thinking that it all started turning around. I realized that a man who masters patience is a master of everything else. To make it to the top of your game, it takes patience. I can sit and say I don't fear anything, nothing. Or I never felt fear. That's a goddamn lie, though. Everybody afraid of something, whether you know it or not. A bullet, a person, a place, heights, snakes, roaches, something. See, me, I always feared not ever living the life I dreamed of or not being successful or rich.
I'm gonna say this here, and this is exclusive. I saved Big Sean from getting dropped. You know what I'm saying?
That was my fear. I don't know if it's right or wrong to feel like that or whatever, but it's just me being honest. I look at the bum on the corner and think, I wonder how he got there. Why is he there? Shit, it might not even be his fault. I'm not trying to end up like that. I'm not trying to see my family end up like that while I'm alive or got something to do with it.
Welcome to Detroit!
I mean, back in the day, he was like, you know, when stuff take off, I want you to DJ for me. And it was like, you know,
He
all right,
told
cool.
you. Because they
And
never,
really,
you know.
really, you know, he
Took
stuck
off.
to his
You
word.
could have been back in the hood.
Yeah, exactly.
But whatever happens is meant to happen. That's what you always got to remember. That's what I always be talking about. It's controlled by us, ourselves, our inner being, God, our thoughts. Nothing good ever comes out of being afraid of a situation.
They still hating what I tell them, Zeno.
No matter how crazy it is.
I tell them SMD, TMD, what that mean?
Instead of letting my fears scare me or enable me, I let them motivate me, inspire me by getting past them, shitting on them. A higher power is clearly in charge and only wants the absolute best for me, for anybody, and only gives us what we can handle.
I'm not understanding.
Man, everything just gotta be how I want it to be, though. I wanna make my album the best it could be. I wanna make clothes and shoes the best they could be. People sitting here not valuing my opinion or
You just gotta trust the opinion, dog.
Man, we're just like, you need to.
when every time I listen to myself, it's always the right way. It's always the right move. It's the best thing. I felt good when I sat and thought that, like, man, all right, my album, if it came out top of the year as opposed to end of the year. It's not no big time difference. But it's gonna make all the difference to me. All the difference to the people who riding for me, the people who be repping me, the people who be defending me in these conversations and shit. I'm playing myself if I come out too early. And take my time with it.
I guess he was like, you learned from the first shit. First shit wasn't all the way where you wanted to be. So it's like,
That's
you got
true.
the arranger and the album.
Exactly. My first album was not all the way where I wanted it to be. The first project I put out and felt comfortable with was Detroit. That was the first thing I ever put out that I was like, damn, we really did it how we wanted to do it. We shot the proper promotion, we did this. I'm not about to do this to my album. We about to do what we did with Detroit 10 times better. See, I let my fears test my faith. Faith always wins, no matter what. I'm not afraid of my fears. That's it. Risk. There is no chance to evolve and progress without taking risks. I feel like it's the necessary element to self-development. You know, like, it's the key to living life to the fullest. Risk, according to Webster, is the chance of injury, damage, loss, the failure of your expectations. But I realized that it's also the opportunity to learn and gain the fulfillment of your desires and dreams. When I think of risk or just what risk means, I feel like I might think of being afraid or really, risk is a way to overcome what you fear. You can be afraid to risk something or everything because you don't want to lose what you have. Because you're afraid you may fail or think you can't handle it or whatever the case. You'll spend so much energy and time trying to keep what you have instead of progressing into something new. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same forever. Nothing. From business to personal, everything in between. I realize that you can't be afraid. A lot of us aren't all the way satisfied, but are scared to lose security in what we do have. Like, I might not be able to get a better job or a better partner, etc. Or even as bad as prison is, you know, there are people who don't want to leave because they're afraid of what's on the outside or being able to succeed. The number one thing I gotta remind myself sometimes and remember is that life is here not to survive, but to live it up, you know, to expand, to grow. When you settle for what's familiar or safe, it's because we forget that God is our security. God is creating all this. And that's the only security. You know, you could try and find security in people, in jobs, or anything man-made, but it's no point because everything is designed to change, including you.
We want songs like Memories, Desire One of These, motherfucker. You can keep quiet, bitch.
Most people who have successfully taken risks and succeeded have failed too. But the point is, you learn from every lesson. You learn from every risk. Change is always exciting. It's always exciting when you know God is involved. The world is designed for change. Don't ever be afraid to take risks. I feel like everybody has a family. I mean, everybody doesn't have relatives. You may or may not have a dad or a mom or whatever, but you got something or someone you're loyal to or who's loyal to you. I always heard blood makes you related and loyalty makes you family. The people I'm around from my homies, mentors, crew. That's my family. They're my motivation. They're the reason that these late nights happen. One of the reasons it makes sense. One of the reasons being successful is so important to me. I feel like family doesn't always mean you're with each other, but the love is always with each other. It means when you come back that the love is still the same, even stronger than last time. You can say the craziest shit, the most hurtful things, but the next day it's like nothing happened. You have people in your life that'll always be there you can call on, and who can call on you. Because it's not just about having somebody, it's about being that somebody too. Helping others. I personally get inspiration just from that feeling. Because I know we live in a world based off karma, doing the best you can do, watching it all come back. You can try and do it alone, do whatever you do by yourself. And I ain't saying you can't get far in it. But when you come together, form a team, a unit, it can only go further, faster. I remember hitting my all-time low, depressed. Stuff really just wasn't working out. But if I could go back now and tell myself anything, it's that nothing ever comes out of fear or negativity. You can't expect the best if you're not at your best or feel your best. That's just the law of the world. But if you imagine how it feels to be doing everything you want, everything you dream, and you know an accept is coming, then pay attention to how that feels. Pay attention to how you feel then. Because when you know what you want is on the way, notice how much better you feel. That's the first step to creating the world you want. You make your own limits. It was my family who taught me that. Certain people who stepped in and picked me up when I was down, believed in me when it was hard to believe in myself. And I didn't want to let them down. I was recording out of closets, basements. My manager, Mike Brinkley, was sending me beats way back for any labels was interested before anything. And just using his relationships he had to help break me through, help build my buzz. The people I was working with were cutting me deals, letting me record for free. I was getting so many breaks. The people who believed in me went above and beyond to help me make it all happen. And I would go above and beyond for them. Because that's what family does for each other. Imagination. How many people you know, I mean for real know, made it, got on? Nobody from my city. Detroit? Hell nah. I ain't know Eminem. I don't know nobody who did.
Yeah, them waves is for real too.
I know I made it my point to be the one who made it. The one people knew before I made it. To show everybody it was real. I grew up watching Biggie, Mace. I wanted a rollie like Pac, feel me? I wanted money like Master P.
Hey, you see what it is, man? I'm
Stunning like
slugged
the
up.
big timers. Wanted to pop champagne, feel me? I wanted to put my crew on, have a label like Rockefeller, put the city on. You know. I started off young, spitting, rapping.
Hey, turn me up.
Trying to be a role model, trying to be signed. I knew I was gonna make it. I just ain't know how.
Ain't nobody fucking with
But I knew. My mom taught me early on, this world is what you make it. You create your own environment. It all starts with a vision. What you can imagine, you can create. I came up middle class.
Family.
Not really having shit to spare, not having no money to spare.
Had to work for new clothes, gas money. I always wanted to give my mom what she wanted, you know, cars, Benz, houses, whatever. I ain't have it, but I could see it in my head. I could feel the energy of it. Build a house up on that ass, that's a nice state. Roll my weed on it, that's a nice tray. Say yay, don't we do this every day? Something to that time, like you just had a payday. I don't even know if that makes sense, but it always made sense to me. It was all real to me. My imagination was real to me. The people who used to tell me I was wasting my time or said it wouldn't work out were the people who ain't have shit. They ain't have nothing. It wasn't until after meeting the people I grew up to, getting a chance to meet my idols, work with them, I realized they believe what I believe. Imagining it, changing the world, changing their world. A lot of people could imagine, but wouldn't believe it, couldn't fathom it. Not me. I believe. I had imagination.